Welcome to From the Pit, where we cover everything from double-time doom swing to harsh tribal jungle funk.
Woo!
Fucking did it. Alright, so with all the tomfoolery and dicking around done, let's go.
This is Ron. This is Frank. I'm Mikey.
And
this
I'm
is
Phil.
We'll get right into our brutal news.
Brutal news.
Brutal
Right
news.
After we do some brutal humiliation.
It's been a very long week. We apologize for coming to you late, but things happen.
Yeah.
People sleep a lot.
This is probably going to be what, like Monday?
I have no idea. That's all.
Sunday or Monday. What's up?
But
What's up, guys?
Let's,
So,
Keeping up the professional image.
let's start off with the sad news first.
Mhm.
Get that out of the way. We sadly have lost another Frank Watkins of Obituary and Gorgoroth. Baseline 47.
damn.
young.
Very. Yeah, cancer is a B.
Shit, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, Obituary and Gorgoroth.
I know. Like
Ah,
talking about some of the extreme metal.
yeah.
very-
Two very different sides of it, too.
Yeah. There's very few as is.
Yeah.
It's always sad to hear one go.
Well, rest in peace.
Pour for the dead homies.
I don't think Tom would appreciate that. So what else have we got, guys?
On the bit of beer, we have two metal beers to talk about.
2 metal beers. That's
One,
right.
I am very pumped about, which is the Amber Smashed Face from Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah. If you guys don't get the reference, I don't really know what to say to you. But holy shit. I'm
That's-
so excited.
We're, like, when that gets released, we're doing that with the Cannibal Corpse album.
Of
Like,
course.
that's
Stupid
Spoiler
not to.
alert.
Oh, yeah, on the other end.
On the other end,
Ah, these motherfuckers.
Slayer 666 Red Ale. Now, upon hearing this, I was like, you know what? I'll give this a whirl. Maybe they'll have some redeeming qualities.
Even the stupid fucking name is
Yeah.
okay because it's Slayer, and they were
Yeah.
kind of one of the first like in-your-face satanic fucking thrash bands. Fine, that's all fine, and I can accept that. And let's get our hands on this beer, right?
So last time that I checked, Slayer was big in America. They're one of the big four American metal
Yeah.
bands. So where's the beer released?
Sweden.
Yep.
What the fuck, guys? What
Really?
is that? Where are you from?
You had the chance to redeem yourself.
Fucking commies.
And instead, you decided
Socialists.
you decided to punch me in the balls, laugh, and then hurl me off a cliff. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm not buying the new album now. I wasn't going to anyway, but now I'm definitely
Oh
not.
my god, don't get Kerry King started.
Nope.
You know, metal bands are still putting out good albums.
We're still putting out great albums, just no one's buying them. The fuck are you talking about? Alright. Before we get pissed off at Carrie King
God
all
damn.
night.
Oh, if we to alleviate ourselves from the sadness.
Slayer's fucking
and then-
up.
To alleviate ourselves from the sadness and then the betrayal. Looking for a laugh. There's some awesome Bernie Sanders metal memes.
They're fucking great.
Like-
It's getting a little out of hand at this point.
I was
The internet always does.
I was looking at them earlier and just trying to read them in a Bernie's voice. It's
I mean, there's Bernie Sanders punk memes and hardcore and metal and it's
One-
who my favorite. Fuck Attila. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders.
it's good for a quick laugh. It's definitely something to. I mean, at this point, you've probably seen it. I'm sure if you have metal friends, they've posted all of them.
Honestly, I don't think if it wasn't for you guys, I don't think you've seen these pop up at least. But yeah, check them out. They're awesome. Metal Injection as a whole.
Yeah, you should like some things on Facebook other than Fall Out Boy.
I believe.
I had to connect the dots for a minute. I'm like, well, what'll that change? That'll change a lot.
Look at him. He's stunned. Is the word.
Just stewing.
So Hideous has an
I just
interview
have
up.
words, but I don't want to say it.
Toilet of Hell has a interview up with So Hideous. I believe they're gonna be going over their new album, Laura's theme, and interview shit.
Yeah, Toilet of Hell in general. If you guys aren't already following them, probably the coolest fucking metal blog / news site. I must hear 20 new albums a week because of them.
Oh yeah, they go hard with their. I mean, I don't know if it's fair to say, but I feel like they cover the underground scene a lot more thoroughly than some of the other sites.
Yeah, almost strictly, and just some of the interviews they get are just really impressive.
It is. It's pretty sweet that we have these resources now for say, like, the underground. Like, I remember a few years ago, it was looking at Revolver magazine, and the death and black metal news was like a section this big on one page, and you're like, come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of wonderful resources now. Toilet of Hell being my personal favorite, but I really hope the new generation of metalheads is using it to really learn the history, because there's so much to learn.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in other news, Dave Mustaine is writing another book, apparently.
Dave Mustaine.
Yes.
Pass me that juice.
Was I Mustaine, the next Twain? He already went on record saying that this is not going to be some, ooh, drugs are bad, I learned from mistakes type books. But what's going to be in a tale for us? Who knows?
I kind of feel like Dave Mustaine is just full of shit in everything he does now. I don't know.
It kind of reminds you every once in a while when you read this shit, especially the last month of our uploads, with every fucking old head coming out of the
Woodwork,
sawdust.
yeah.
Like, they're just people.
They are.
Yeah.
And I feel like Dave Mustaine is just an old dude who isn't getting the attention that he used to get, and it's kind of running off at the mouth.
I will give him credit. Still writing good music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always interesting. I mean,
But like that's pretty much all. That's where I stopped liking Dave Mustaine. Like pretty much outside of music, I can't fucking stand.
well,
him.
I mean, especially with these books, it's just one of those things. I don't know if you've ever read Miles Davis's autobiography. It's a fascinating read, but I'm pretty sure 90% of it is bullshit, and the other 10% is the word motherfucker. So he really like that word. So it is what it is. If you're interested in reading what Dave Mustaine has to say, why not?
I'm almost curious. Like, a part of me is kind of curious as to what the fuck he's gonna drone on about. If it's not just what did he call it? A drug fuckalog?
Yeah,
I mean, the dude's seen a lot in the scene, so he, whether or not you agree with what he says, he might have a lot of interesting insights.
I'm curious.
So,
I still think he's full of shit, though.
And moving on from that, Metalocalypse. I'm pretty sure every metalhead in the world has been a fan since the first time we saw the fucking trailers for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Created by a guy who clearly knows and loves the genre.
Yeah,
Just
he's written
very
the majority
into
of the songs.
Yes.
Right? Brandon Smalls.
And he incorporates band names as names of stores, and
he graduated from Berkeley for guitar.
I feel like as far as metal tribute sort of things go, this was the ultimate culmination of the best jokes and insights to our own personal subculture.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's a part of that whole like you can't laugh at anybody until you laugh at yourself a little bit.
Yeah, dude. When Swiss Guard is like, I don't know how to read music.
Yeah, it's so true. Slow. That's his hard. It's too hard.
But so there is a petition online to bring the new and final season of the show, which I'd love to see. We need the end of the saga because
plus, if we get another season, it means we probably get another album.
Yes.
That's true. And, you know,
another tour.
It's awesome because as much as the show's about the comedy and the jokes, there's also been a pretty insane, epic story going on in the background of the whole thing.
The opera really expands on that.
Yeah. So how could you not want to see the end?
I'm sorry. Never mind that within the jokes of the metal itself, there's also then the social commentary aspects of it that just hit hard.
It's just an incredible work in general. So get your ass online, sign the petition. It ends Mischief Night. So before October 30th, it'll take 2 minutes of your time. Get out there, fucking sign some shit. Tell them that we want this. We need it.
Metalocalypse or die. Die for Death Clock. Just go to diefordeathclock.org.
Do anything for Death Clock.
All right, but yeah, that's honestly got me my Jimmy's rustled.
Jimmy's have been rustled.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's our news section.
It is.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's hot off the press time.
Hot off the Jimmy's.
Going to start this off, not necessarily kind of with an album, but Protest the Hero, changing the game. Or trying to.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting approach that they're taking, and I'm very curious to see how it goes. But for those who haven't heard, they're essentially doing a Protest the Hero subscription service. So rather than releasing an album all at once, you pay, what is it, like, you can either pay up front like the $12 for a year, or you can pay $1 a month for essentially a new song every month. It's a cool idea.
Definitely.
And it works when it's just them. When I don't know that it'll work, unfortunately, as an overall model. Yeah, because I mean, you know, $1 a month, it's nothing. But say 20 bands do that, all of a sudden you're losing $20 a month. And we all listen to more than 20 bands.
That's a porn subscription right there.
That straight up is like
a lot of subscriptions.
That's premium on a few sites.
I mean, it's not Netflix or Hulu. It's only $12, but I mean, you're right. When you throw the numbers down, say 10 albums at $120.
Yeah,
it's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
what would you?
10 years ago, it wouldn't have been a lot when we were making more money. And $120 was like, I would have spent this in one day anyway. Money's just tighter now.
We also think about how many albums do you buy in a year? That's kind of what.
Well, there's also the fact that this kind of plays into much like prepaying for games. You're kind of giving them the money and then saying, well, I have faith in whatever you throw at me.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding dilemmas.
Yeah, I mean, you could just be throwing money at them and they could say, well, we got the $12 from all these people for the year, so
we're doing an acoustic set.
Yeah.
We'll squeak out some tunes, you know.
Literally, like, they're just farting over the pickups.
Hey, we took our old CD and put everything in a different key. Come on, man. So, you know, it's and I don't think that's what they're going to do. I applaud them for trying to do something different. I do believe that it's in the best interest of the fans, the way they're approaching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the light at the end of the tunnel hopefully would be if they ask for the $12, get enough subscribers to be stable, and then give us more for our money. Like maybe throw an acoustic EP up for free for the people that are your subscribers, or do a show, or you know what I mean? Like there could be little bits thrown in there to really make the value shine.
Right. But yeah, so it's
definitely a cool concept. It's a new model.
We'll see what happens in the future.
And what I'll say,
I'm curious to see where it goes.
Aside from this new model or whatever you want to call it, Protest the Hero's fucking slamming.
They are.
Yeah. Luckily, it's a good band trying it, so we don't have to. I mean, it would suck if it was the Butcher Babies doing it, because then we wouldn't get, you know.
Oh, they'd get money. They'd get paid.
Oh, they'd get paid, but we wouldn't.
It wouldn't help us.
Yeah, we'd have no idea how it really works.
Yeah.
There'd be a 13-year-old somewhere going so hard.
Boy. Okay, what else we got coming up?
Something you're pumped about. Cult Leader.
Oh my God! Yes. That shit is out. I don't remember the exact release date, but holy shit. Cult Leader fucking rules. They're very much, if you're not familiar, in the vein of like Tragedy and a lot of the other crusty, hardcore, real heavy, real punky, just fucking great. I love it. I love it.
What do you like?
And then Coheed and Cambria's Color Before the Sun actually released the 16th of this month, and it's gold. It's just gold.
Not at all metal.
Not
from what I
in
hear.
the least bit metal. It's poppy as shit.
But you've heard it.
I've heard it,
It's
and it's good. It's good.
Word.
It's Coheed and Cambria being Coheed and Cambria, and they are writing these songs with a new inspiration, I suppose. Like he that has nothing to do with the Amory Wars or any of the real big storylines or anything like that. But it still lyrically, like, and rhythmically feels like Coheed. It doesn't sound like he's whining.
The one
about
song
his
I did
girlfriend
hear
or anything.
off of it reminded me straight off of one of their more mellow songs.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah,
it's a fucking phenomenal fire ass album.
fire
Fire-ass album. Coheed and Cambria, the Color Before the Sun. Pick that shit up.
Produced by Kanye West.
Easy.
No, it's not.
Easy for president.
So, Melted Space, The Great Lie. Now, what intrigued me about this release is this was my first time hearing of them. It's a collaborative album.
Mm-hmm.
So you have different band members of different bands on different tracks. Just
all
Now, was that
jerking
the
off
one
on
that
the
was
same
like clean vocals and harsh vocals and very symphonic? Did you listen to
very
it?
only bits. Yeah, it's very symphonic. Has a bit of depth to it. Like, it's pretty cool. But you have all these different people coming together and working together on different tracks.
Almost more like a collective than a
Yes.
than a band.
Mm.
I love shit like that because it never gets stale.
That dark jazz I've been listening to lately is
I love every
so
time
goddamn good.
I love every time you put that on.
It's just so good.
I wish that was still a thing.
It's not.
No,
Neither of the
they
projects.
split in 2014.
Fucker.
Yeah.
We can do it, Mike.
For
We
some
can do
more,
it. We can be the next sensation in dark jazz.
Sensation.
for fans of more OG death, Grave put out Out of Respect for the Dead.
I love the title, especially for, as you're calling it,
Yeah.
OG. Yeah. That's phenomenal.
Another one, now more in the technical death, we got Go Rod with A Maze of Recycled Creeds,
Go on.
which I saw the album art for it and I was like, this is fucking awesome.
How would you describe the album art?
Other than tits,
Oh, was it the one that's like a black background with the crosses in
Yes.
like blue?
Yeah,
It's
or
like
gray,
it's like minimalist, like religious, dark,
Tits?
abstract-y sort of. I don't know. It's cool.
when I say tits, I mean cool.
It's like
okay.
cross bearers in like a black background. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Also,
good.
Look it up.
When you said tits, the whole time I'm imagining everything you're saying, but somehow incorporating tits into it.
I really...
Like,
Go
I'm
watch
trying to like.
the
Oh,
new-
go watch
the new Lindemann.
video. Fish On.
Oh boy, I gotta check that out.
That album is gonna be something weird.
It's growing on me so
Oh,
much.
Lindemann?
It's catchy.
Yeah,
it's just
great.
weird.
I love that shit. And I hope everyone noticed Ron grabbing Frank's tit as he said tit.
I mean, look at these.
Killing me,
I'm a fucking
Smalls.
stalker.
Oh
boy.
Moving up to our feature
Whoa.
topic.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was jumping the gun. I was jumping the gun.
Jump in the gun.
Jumping the gun.
Let's get my list up.
We all got to get our lists up.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to be doing something a little bit different, shying away from the potential social and politics in metal and doing something for fun. We're going to let you guys know what 5 albums we would pick if we were stranded on an island tomorrow.
This is
Difficult.
within the genre.
It's
I'm
gonna
sure
be
we
just
all
metal.
have. Yeah.
Because I had a
well,
hard fucking time.
it's metal and hardcore for me, but yes, all within the realm.
Yeah, heavy music. We're not going to have our Circus Survives or our fucking Coheeds, hopefully. Well, it don't really matter if you have it.
No, it's Coheed's in that list.
That's fine.
Of course it is.
Yeah, at this
totally
point,
in that list.
List is the list.
Yeah.
They somehow surpassed that rule.
Yeah, no, like Coheed, they're a band that meld genres.
Well, they were heavy. They have heavy songs.
They have the like how we always describe heaviness as being a scale between crushing and abrasiveness.
Well, let's just say, so we don't have to say it again, we're not ignoring everything else that we obviously listen to. We're doing metal. We're doing metal, hardcore, extreme music, period.
Yeah.
And
Can Yanni be considered metal?
Pretty much like my whole scale for what I was using at least was.
You want to start? Do we have anything else to say if you want to start it off?
I mean, I feel like this is something we'll probably revisit at some point, because I don't know about you guys, but I had a really difficult time coming up with this list, and I'm sure
I moaned at Frank for like 2 hours.
There's got to be so many albums
Well,
that
that's
I just
normal.
totally missed. But yeah, whoever wants to start.
Yeah, Ron, why don't you start it
All
off?
right. See, I was able to come up with 5 albums, but I wasn't able to put them in any specific order.
That's
No.
fine. That's
so,
fine.
yeah. So in absolutely no specific order, it would have to be Second Stage Turbine Blades, the debut Coheed album. Just because like that's an album that takes me back, and
It's eclectic.
it's eclectic as shit. It's just so all over the place. They have their parts where they're really, really just abrasive, and if you're not into that kind of stuff, it's just going to sound weird. But they still managed to pull it off. Everything was just like really cool, and it was the obvious makings of something that was going to be really good.
And it's so goddamn listenable.
Oh yeah,
that album is
golden. It's an album where like the rest of a lot of these albums, pretty much I don't know what songs are on them by name because I'll just throw it on. I don't skip songs. I don't like, oh, I want to listen to that song. Like
I'm always terrible with song names on the album unless it's like obvious in the chorus.
Next is probably going to be Pantera's Vulgar Display.
Hell yeah.
Just
very nice.
Because like that was one of the albums that fucking really set in stone that I want to be a guitar player. Like Dimebag Darrell, everything he did on it, it was off the wall. It was some crazy shit. His solos are awesome. His dive bombs were really
and
cool.
I always loved Dimebag because while he's not the most technically gifted, he knew exactly what to write for the song. His riffs were always fucking tasty,
and
the solos might not be fucking Marty Friedman mind blowing, but they're
technical enough that I'm still intimidated as a guitar. I wouldn't want to try and attempt to
it's not beginner.
Let's be
shit,
honest,
but
he has the best squeal of any guitar.
Oh
player.
yeah,
hands down. Like the guy knew guitar like nobody's business.
Oh my god, Cemetery Gates when he does the back and forth.
Oh, okay. I can just listen. I can listen to that all day.
Every cover I've ever heard sucks.
Next one is actually probably going to be a shocker. There's probably more nostalgia involved in this one, but Shogun by Trivium, being straight up. That album, like I couldn't tell you what they've played before or after that album, but that album to me was solid. It was just rock solid.
Me and him have talked about this before. Like that's an album that you like throw on and it flows perfectly. The transitions in it and everything great. You're just like, God, this was well written.
It's really interesting to me, and I think this is one of the few times are fairly small, but there's still definitely an age gap between us. And for me, when, I heard Trivium and I was like, well, I've heard this before. This is all right. But then, next thing you know, I think it was Revolver was fucking hailing them as the saviors of thrash. And I was like, all right, fuck this. Done with you.
Saviors of thrash?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
I still...
okay, when people start tacking on extra accolades and shit to them, I don't really, I can't hold that against them.
Well, then for you guys, that was what was... kind of the
it was thrash coming back, like as far as like popular mainstreamy like stuff that you're gonna like hear on Headbangers Ball or whatever it was back in that like
I mean we did have Municipal Waste and Toxic Holocaust
there's better stuff to listen out there.
It's okay,
there's always better stuff, but
I don't want
that album for me
I don't want to keep you too hung up on this album. So what else you got?
So what I got Second Stage, Vulgar Display, a Shogun, and the self-titled Animals as Leaders album naturally goes on that list because I need some math. I just need like to had my brain just frying and oozing out of my ears.
They are gent that I still hear and think of the term math metal.
Yeah.
Because it still feels original. A lot of the newer gent has become kind of cookie cutter.
Yeah.
To me,
yeah.
they're...
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, Animals Leaders, I think more as like heavy fusion.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. When I was in CCC, actually, I for my jazz appreciation class, my last paper was on how Animals as Leaders is a fusion band.
I'd say that's true.
And yeah, like they draw from so many obvious different influences, but have a sound that's still their own. And
I think an easy way to summarize that is like Wave of Babies. That's a fucking metal song.
Yeah.
But then you listen to the whole album, and like one of my favorite songs is Impulse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a metal song.
Yeah.
But it's fucking good.
It's very well.
So, last album. What do you got?
Last album. I think I just drew a blank on it.
Well, in that case, you just kind of got a free album. So what comes to mind?
Mm.
So free album.
Not Fall Out Boy.
Take this to your grave. Quit. Night out with your girlfriend.
We're gonna have tryouts for new members.
If you want to be a co-host of From the Pit, please send in your applications.
Yes. Ruining it. All right. No. If I'm being serious.
Metallica.
That's what I was
It might, honestly, it might end up just being like Master of Puppets or Injustice for All.
All right. Fair.
I toss up between those two.
That was Master of Puppets. Almost made it onto my list.
Yeah,
that was very, very close.
A solid album.
Frank,
right.
I'm excited.
All right. Probably not what you think. Starting off with is someone was talking shit on earlier. Slayer, God Hates Us All. That album
really?
is...
That's the...
Dude, I love... That's why... A while back you said, like, oh, anything after the 80s from some of them was terrible.
No, not anything. They had a rough patch in the 90s like everyone else.
But...
Everyone did.
God Hates Us All, that album...
it was a great album.
The way even it was mixed, it would had, like, this noisiness to it. It was just very heavy.
I'm kind of shocked that it's that and not one of the... I mean, at this point, it kind of is a classic, but...
That album, when I heard that, it just...
Damn,
pulled you right back in, huh?
2001,
wasn't it?
It wasn't... No, it wasn't... 102, maybe?
No, wasn't
that's the album that came out.
It was.
That was 9/11,
yeah. But
jeez.
That album hits hard.
My God.
I remember a kid I used to jam with, he said he heard Diabolos and he was good. He's like, oh... Well, I guess Slayer is, in their old age, kind of slowing down a bit, calming down. God Hates Us All comes on. Once that double bass section comes on, he's like, oh, my fucking bad.
Goddamn right, you're fucking bad.
So what else you got?
Okay, one of the albums that made me pick up a bass, Iron Maiden's self-titled album.
Nice.
That just, from start to finish, that's another album that I would just, playing video games or something like that, I would just throw it on in my room, chill, and it was great.
Yeah, I mean, even Maiden's worst album is better than a lot of bands' best. So,
yeah.
And that's a great fucking choice.
Now, another one is actually a newer album that I actually discovered because of doing this is Unleash the Archers, Time Staying Still.
I love it. One of the bands that we covered has made it onto your list.
Every morning since then, that as I'm driving to work, that's the album that I throw on. That's what gets me ready
if you want to get ready to conquer the day.
Exactly. That's what gets me ready to take on the oppressive tyranny of everyday bullshit at ShopRite.
Throwing boxes.
So if we didn't drive the point across the first time, fucking listen to them.
Now, my black metal selection, which is not what... It's a style of black metal that most people go, oh, they're not real black metal.
Oh, boy.
But it was one of the albums that really helped me get into the genre, which was Cradle of Filth's Cruelty and the Beast.
Okay.
That album,
interesting.
It was one of the first albums that I heard that the transitions that were in, different songs and whatnot, when I heard them the first time, they almost gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh, that was amazing. it was something completely different for me.
Yeah, I got it. I didn't expect that one. All right.
And my last choice, Typo Negative, Slow, Deep, and Hard. That is a weird album as far as genres go because you get a bit of industrial in it, you get some goth in it, you get every now and again you get almost like doomy slow down pace, and the next second they'll just speed it up into like a hardcore.
Typo
style.
is they're one of those bands that really spans genres. I mean,
And
almost everyone I know is into them.
And you want to talk about an album of rage?
Yeah.
Is that there is 8 tracks on this album. 2 of them don't have any words. Now, 5 of the remaining 6 are about killing a cheating bitch.
Oh, boy.
Actually, I'm sorry, I think 4. One of them's about people abusing public assistance, and the other is about committing suicide because of said cheating whore.
That's the beauty of music. It's an outlet.
Definitely.
All of the negativity, just put it out there. Make something out of it. So,
I guess following the trend, I picked a list that's really close to what I started off with. My first off the list is Shai Hulud with Blood Ill Tempered. I mean, it's
Man
just,
after your own heart.
it's just one of the best albums I've heard ever.
yeah.
Whether it's the vocals, whether it's the musicality, there's so much passion. It's so heavy. I mean, I just have fond memories of playing Halo and listening to that album on repeat.
It just, it burns itself into your brain.
And it's so righteous.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn righteous.
And there's nothing you can really argue. It's, they just come from this standpoint of...
and that dual vocal type thing that you get in that album, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're
Put that
phenomenal.
away.
Yeah, just fold it up under the band. For the second one, I went with probably my favorite album of that year, Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza, the Danza 3, the Alpha and the Omega. They broke up because this album was so good. They said, we are not going to do this again. We can't. I meant the Danza 4. The Danza 3 was good
boss?
too. The Danza 3, alright, so this band, I'm giving them accolades because other than their last album being a culmination of everything I liked in like the bassier end of metal, the spastic, less organized end of metal, is that they evolved the entire time. From their first album, which was fine, it was grindy tech metal, to the Danza 4, where it was just perfection. I mean, and they talk about, PTSD, they talk about internal strife. It's an album for any bad day.
It's kind of cool that their discography is like an encapsulation of an artist's growth, and you see it start to finish, and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's that's a beautiful way to approach things. So,
next, one of my most listened to albums is going to be Every Time I Die's Hot Damn. It's just amazing. Southern rock, riffy, catchy, angry, fucking almost punky sort of hardcore. You get your breakdowns, but you don't get them in your standard chug patterns. You get them in actual broken down music, and it's just fucking amazing. They've got to be up to like 8 or 10 CDs now, 8 of releases, and they're another one. They started off. I don't even remember what their first album was called because no one listens to it. It's just it's not that great. But then they put out Hot Damn, and it was like fire. And then every album after that, it was just getting better. I mean, not so much better. I don't know if they could beat out Hot Damn. But I still buy their music, and I still like it. Yeah. And
this one.
Number 3 is going to be Children of Bodom, Follow the Reaper. Because if anything got me interested in playing guitar, it was that album.
I still remember my first time hearing Bodom was that album. And kids on my bus going to school, the bus driver was awesome, would let us bring in tapes to put on. So few people on the bus would make tapes, and Follow the Reaper came on that. And I heard that, I was like, what the fuck is this?
that was, yeah.
I think I'm going to change on the fly. I think I'm going to call out, instead of the one I have, Converge's Jane Doe.
All right.
Because as far as game changing, they really opened up sort of the door for that noisecore. I mean, it's like I was attracted immediately to the first DVD I saw, and it was a collection of their first, like garage shows, VFW or VFW halls and shit like that, and the crowd was insane.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that was already growing within the scene with bands like Botch and
Botch was awesome.
All Else Failed, but Converge, and I think a lot of it has to do with their insane level of musicianship.
Oh my god,
was just,
you wouldn't be able to tell if you listen to the Jane Doe, but shit's going on in that album.
They were just the ones to take off, and fairly so. But yeah, it really gave birth to a lot of, I mean, it was them and Dillinger who really pushed the envelope with that, and then
dissonant, fast, spastic, almost grindy sort of.
Yeah, and then we got like half a decade of everyone trying to imitate. All right, wow, that's I don't even want to mention but that was a hell of an album switch. It's almost making me rethink mine, but I can't because
I mean, hey, I want to talk about the other one, but that wouldn't be fair.
Nope. Alrighty. So, similarly, I had to start out with Shai Hulud. And it's just a fucking given. Anyone who thought that wasn't going to be on my list has never watched an episode of this show. But I went with Hearts Once Nourished with Hope and Compassion. It was one of the albums that really drew me to the heavier side of music. Prior to that, I was primarily into just straight punk hardcore, and when I heard their introduction of metal elements and just how tastefully they did it, made me rethink the whole concept of metalcore in general. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Shai Hulud.
Poetry.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Poetry.
And, yeah, alright, I'll stop rambling about that. But, for most of my list, I had to go with, what have I already listened to for years that I'm still not tired of? That's kind of the approach I took. Because there are plenty of albums where, I might have a favorite from a band, but I haven't been listening to it as long. There are other bands that I really wanted to include, just didn't fit the list. So all of these I've been listening to for years and years and years, and still play them on an almost weekly basis. So my second album was Start Today by the Gorilla Biscuits. Considered by many to be the greatest hardcore album ever written. And I'd say that's a fair assessment, especially because they never set out for that. And what I always think is fascinating is while they are a straight edge band, none of their songs were, straight edge anthems, which actually made them almost unpopular at the time. A lot of people were upset that, like, oh, you're straight edge, why isn't that, like, all you're talking about?
Why aren't you preaching?
Yeah.
Preach to me.
It's funny, though, with Gorilla Biscuits being, like, Black Flag in a way. I've noticed, at least with, like, my circles, like, you like Gorilla Biscuits, and that's one step closer to everybody being like, hey, I know you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So next, one of my absolute favorites, and probably the shortest album on my list, is Milo Goes to College by the Descendants. Just a hardcore staple.
For real.
Just a bunch of fucking teenagers, angry fucking teenagers with a lot to say.
Yeah.
It helped. Milo Aukerman himself has always been an inspiration to me. The man is one of the most well-known figures in punk in general, and on top of that, the man's a research biochemist. Just incredible. Two totally different lives, and he managed them both. So, fucking Descendants. My favorite of the big four, Anthrax.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
This was a really tough one to choose. Especially lately I've been listening to Spreading the Disease a lot because of the upcoming anniversary. But I had to go with the album that really got me into them, Among the Living. Just fucking awesome. It really carried the spirit of the crossover thrash that came before them. You know, it's one of those things. I can listen to DRI and then throw on that album, and I don't feel like there's any sort of weird transition there. Just growth. God, I fucking love Anthrax. So good.
For no actual reason, I am not familiar with Anthrax at all.
Really?
Like, I know they're a band and I know what they're into, but it's like Pantera. I just never gave it time.
Well, it's interesting because out of the big four, they're probably one of the least talked about.
That's true.
But they've got such a follow. I mean, people. It's like
pretty much only thing people really know about Anthrax is Scotty and.
But people that like
beard.
Anthrax fucking love Anthrax.
Yeah.
So it's like I know I'm missing something.
They stayed on the punkier side of crossover thrash, which unfortunately made them.
It wasn't as appreciated.
Yes, yeah,
I really
very
like them
much
when I
like
started
Municipal
listening to them.
Waste.
They're fucking sweet.
Very much like Waste. It's, you know, it's harder to imagine skating to like Rust in Peace, but Among the Living. That shit makes me want to fucking hop on my board.
So it's like skate metal.
Yeah. As crossover kind of was originally.
Yeah.
If you like Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, I love Suicidal.
You know, like, honestly, I was kind of fighting to not put one of those albums on.
They almost made it on there.
Honestly, I kind of want to take back the Metallica album.
Nope. Wait. I have a good reason. If you guys like this, you thought it was fun, we'd be more than willing to throw another list together. This was by no means the end of the music that we could come up with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We can even break it down into the subgenres of metal.
Pick a genre, like...
No, there's names on... I mean, there's bands that I want to talk about, too, because I feel they deserve the recognition beyond just I would have a hard time not listening to them. But I think we should stick to the 5. We picked 5.
Well, and, you know, the nice thing about this is it's a way for us to talk about the classics. Because typically what we're trying to do is dredge up new shit and promote newer bands. So if we get to talk about the shit that we grew up on for a minute, I love it.
Some Ozzy.
Speaking of one final album, and this was really... I was really back and forth on this. Because I really wanted to put Maiden on here. A lot.
Yeah.
But I had to go with Judas Priest, Stained Class.
Really?
That's still...
Wait, which album?
Stained Class. My personal favorite. I mean, just from that opening with Exciter.
Exciter's my favorite.
Oh
Priest
my
song.
god. And that starts the fucking album, and it just never lets up. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh.
And so, I mean, there are a few vocalists with the same kind of stage presence and talent as Rob Halford. You know, I mean, Bruce Dickinson being one of the few, but
yeah,
I really just I had to roll with Maiden. They're what I think of when I think of classic metal.
Or Priest.
Oh yes, dear God, that's how much I listen to the two of them next to each other.
I was gonna say, Maiden wins out for me just because of Steve Harris on bass. That's
yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a toss up between the two, and I landed on Stained Class, one of my absolute favorites. One of the first vinyls I ever owned too. So that's our island list. If you guys enjoyed this, let us know. If you hated it, let us know. We're probably still gonna do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let us know what you would pick.
If you were stuck on an island, had 5 albums, in some way of playing them, I'm guessing. what albums are you picking?
And if you say Butcher Babies, we will block you.
It's only a matter of time before like Butcher Babies actually starts responding to some of the shit we're talking. Like I'm kind of hoping it gets to that point almost.
It would be the greatest thing to ever happen.
Shut up,
it might actually be.
Also, we're tossing around the idea of Spotify making a playlist from the pit playlist. If that's something that might interest anybody, shoot us a message.
They don't want to hear.
Yeah, let us know. Leave a comment.
I mean, it's like...
I'm joking.
No, I know, but it's like if people are too lazy to find this shit, then maybe they're too lazy to look it up. We can make it easier.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
But, yeah.
You will pay us with beer.
I think Ron should know where we're going.
Where are we going?
Where are we going, Ron?
Hold on. Do we need to put up the GPS?
Oh my god.
What's the ETA? Is there traffic?
Do you know how to find your way?
Okay, first I need latitude, longitude. Before we go into the pit.
My bad.
We need to be very, very specific. All right, I have very dated equipment here that
I'm going with
locate the pit.
39 degrees north.
All right.
And 2 degrees east.
So wherever that is, it's in the pit. Or whatever the term.
We're going into the pit.
Into the pit.
We're going into the pit. Yes, sir.
He keeps saying it.
I keep saying it. I'm just gonna keep.
We're going to into the pit.
So this week I picked Nilithia.
Just run.
I picked Nilithia. They are this awesome fucking thrash band from British Columbia, Canada, America's hat. But
That's so stupid.
all right.
Especially because it's still America.
Yeah. But anyway, pretty much they are this awesome band from BC, and they kick all types of ass. They put out an EP pretty much back in 2008, and they've been like doing little releases here and there. They have a few videos up on YouTube and whatnot, but they're just consistent as fuck. And just as much as if you watched last week's episode where we talked about their new upcoming album, Hyper Thrash, where just as much that's a statement, everything they've put out is just as much a fucking like, yo, like,
it's the
shit's
fucking,
getting real now.
It's the farmer with the fucking with the scythe before the wheat, just fucking
whoosh, just laying waste to everything. These guys are fucking serious. They are the real deal. If you like thrash, if you like shit that's way too fast and just constantly flying over your head a little bit, right up your alley. These guys are awesome. I can't remember when Hyper Thrash is coming out, but it's coming out soon.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Watch last week's episode, goddammit.
If you haven't, check it out. Hyper Thrash is the shit.
Got a whole back catalog of episodes.
They have a whole catalog of videos and just stuff you can find. They're not hard to find.
Catalogs,
just books, binders full of women. Just
I forgot all about that. Oh boy.
They've got enough content to keep you satisfied while you're waiting for Hyper Thrash to come out.
Okay.
So check out Nilithia.
Frank, what did you do this week?
Did a Child Bite.
Oh my god.
Child Bite is from Detroit, and as I'm listening to it, they've done a few albums, I believe, some splits. The only way that I could think to put a name to what I was listening to was spastic groove rock.
Yeah, they fall right with. If you're a fan of the Melvins, if you're a fan of oh my god, why am I blanking on the name?
I believe
who wrote Epic? Please don't like.
Yes,
Faith No More. Thank you. Oh my god.
Thank you.
It is weird metal. It is weird metal from a weird band from
Courtney
a weird
Love
city.
fronted that band for a period of time. Like, yeah. Or at least Faith No More. I'm sorry. Getting off topic.
Say, elements of them, as you pointed out, even remind people of Clutch.
Like rocky.
Yeah, it's
rhythmic.
Very. And then with that, there's some of the material I'm just listening to it as I'm driving home from work. I'm just like, what? What's happening in my head right now?
I love what they're doing. It's one of the most unique things in within the realm of metal right now. If you get a chance to see them, don't fucking miss it.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, it's very hard to describe.
It is
how it feels, but
that's what she said.
I feel there needs to be more like this. Like,
I'll leave that one alone.
I feel like not enough people do go into this weird realm.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's what we need.
Weird music's always good.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Take that back.
Yeah.
Take that back. Weird music is not always good, but
Lady Baby's awesome.
That's not weird.
I still have so many mixed feelings about that. I don't know. It doesn't.
Kawaii core.
Why do you have mixed feelings about it? It should be a clear no. let's move on to what you listen to.
Yes, please.
I listen to Rollo Tomasi. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a minute, because this band fucking rules.
It sounds like a candy.
If not for the fact that I was very excited about the band that I'm covering, we would have been fighting over this. Ever since they've been around for quite a while, but ever since I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that Mike and I first heard them. Instant love. Oh my god.
It reminds me of, I guess the easiest way to describe it is for those who are familiar with Circle Takes the Square. Because it's got this really fucking sweet, like, dual vocals going on through a lot of the songs, almost all of them, where it's a guy and a girl going back and forth. And their growls are almost indistinguishable, so it gives you this harmonic value, almost like in the Shai Hulud album. And it encompasses, like, dissonant, melodic hardcore elements. And it's, like, almost like a straight throwback to a lot of the bands I named on my list. Like, it borrows a lot of the same sort of convergy, circle-y
it's chaotic hardcore done right.
It's fucking amazing.
And one of my favorite things, I've listened through their whole discography on almost a daily basis recently, and what's awesome is you really hear evolution. They were a band that, with their album Hysterics, they were referring to it as Nintendo Core, because they used a lot of that chiptune-y.
Yeah, they've got a synth player.
And
on the newest album, it becomes what it needs to be, I think, where it's more of a backing element.
On Grievances, they said they wanted to write it like a movie soundtrack. And it really does. It has that feel of just start to finish. You really feel like you sat through something. It's worth, it's one of those albums that you just don't skip a track on.
No, there's no.
Or it feels just out of order. It's Rollo Tomasi. Check them out. Links in the description or wherever the fuck else Tom puts them. Yes. So, a band that I'm covering this week. It's another band out of England called Torpor. This is it's rare that I really dive into anything that falls within doom metal. A lot of it gets too slow for me. I just kind of lose interest. The cool thing about Torpor is it's really sludgy doom metal with a lot of fucking crazy transitions. Even the vocals go from almost spoken word to deep, heavy growls to higher end screams. It's more of what I want to see out of the doom metal subgenre. I was very, very excited about them. So much so that I wanted to make sure I owned their music. So I hopped on Bandcamp. I was like, I don't really buy CDs. Can't afford the vinyl right now. But if you buy the t-shirt, you get the album with it. Great. I get to give them money, get a t-shirt, own the album. The package came in the mail, I think about 2 days ago. And with it came this nice little handwritten note. I'm sure you guys probably can't read it, but this is some legit fan appreciation. Yeah, it just said, cheers for your support. We thought you might like a free CD, as postage to the U.S. is pretty expensive. Oh, what you wanted to do.
So, you were saying that you ordered a shirt with intentions of getting a digital copy. They sent you out a physical copy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fucking sweet.
So the album, I believe it's their first full length. From Nothing Comes Everything. It fucking rules. Hop on Bandcamp. check them out. I mean, between that and their first EP, Blood Dry, I've just been it's been the first album I've listened to every day this past week. Just fucking great, and clearly they respect their fans. So
it's always nice to see something like that.
Yeah, just a word to any up and coming bands who might check out our show. Have that level of fan appreciation, because it means the fucking world. This is, I'll never forget that happened now.
Like, they know you exist,
Yeah.
You're not...
They recognize my support. That's fucking great. So, take notes, guys.
All right. So, it's time for...
fucking tours.
Fucking tours. Now, with that being said, something that I saw and really caught my eye. Deicide. You heard me correctly. Deicide. They announced dates in December, I believe it is. They're going to be coming around with Season of Suffering.
Oh, shit.
And Deicide is one of those classic death metal bands that really...
That was a dark place.
Ooh, yeah.
I was in a dark place.
It's one of the things I've always loved about them was their embracing of the controversy. The phone calls between him and that one televangelist are fucking hysterical. Hysterical.
They're referring to this as Death in the Manger Tour.
Like, because it's in December.
Oh
my god.
The first song I ever heard by them was Bible Basher.
Jesus Christ.
And, like, I remember hearing that and, like, the crushing nature of that. So I was like, oh, this is heavy. Like, so is this what it means to be heavy? Okay. Sign me up. Throw some blasphemy in there and get I was hooked.
We also got a December show with some local friends. Sunburster, Maggot Mouth, Descent, Garland Green, Stories of Living, and Rich People.
So where, for anyone in the Jersey, Philly area, where is this show going to be? Do we know?
Let me find it real quick.
It's okay if we don't. We'll just...
fine.
I was going to pull it up my
We
phone,
have
my
until
phone
December to mention it,
Yeah.
so... But it's coming up, and...
We'll talk about it again.
If it's not obvious by now, we are very much supporters of the local and the up-and-coming acts. The guys who have made it, so show some respect. The guys trying to make it.
Oh, yeah.
What else we got? Oh, yes. Funeral for a Friend, doing their farewell tour. Fortunately not hitting the States, but I guess I can understand. But what is awesome is Shai Hulud will be opening for them. Mm-hmm. Two bands that just go together perfectly, and I can't think of a better opening band to send them off.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone else got anything they happen to catch word of? Wanted to let people know about.
I'll have the date in 1 sec if you want to keep talking.
Sure. Well, H2O's on tour still. They're just coming back to the States. In like a week.
Oh, I got you.
So yeah, check that out. They're hitting Philly November 21st, I want to say.
Well, off topic, but did you have H2O on your island list?
No.
That's surprising as shit.
Well, I had Gorilla Biscuits, and it's kind of, you don't want to...
Okay, I get you. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
If I wasn't careful, it was going to end up being all melodic hardcore. So.
Modern life.
Mine was like a lot of thrash.
So that show with Garland Green, Sunburster, that's going to be Friday, December 18th, 7 o'clock, and that's going to be at Harper's. For those of you who know, Harper's has metal shows.
That's how we've seen Cognitive.
Yeah,
and
Harper's is a good place, so we'll be there.
Seen Buckshot Facelift.
Yeah, so if you happen to watch the show and you make it out there, come say hi, punches in the face, whatever it is.
Punch one of them in the face. Don't punch me in the face.
Clearly punch Ron in the face.
Yeah.
I'm brown.
It'll probably be a hate crime.
Probably. It's 2015.
It'll be good publicity for our show when Ron sues you. So
just make sure to say helter
yes,
helter skelter right before you punch him.
On that note, like, share, subscribe,
and as always, good night, ladies.